Okay, here's a quick look at Black Dragon. First off, normally when you first install it, you've got hardly any buttons that you're used to seeing, so click on Dragon, go to Toolbars, and then you can drag all your buttons to the side of the screen where you want them, such as Appearance. And then also on the menu, under File, you can upload all your textures and stuff like that. Preferences, Control P. Usual stuff. So we'll go into Preferences now. The first tab, General, shows you more or less what's on the first page of the Firestorm preferences. So that's easy enough. But when you come to Display, where you do all your graphics malarkey, they're normally all closed up like that. So if you open them up, now in the top bit, you got how interface sizes, how big you want your buttons and stuff like that. You may want to check automatic memory management to control how much memory it uses, how much graphics memory. I just let it have the full lot. Like when it comes to quality options, this is like the bit in Firestorm where you decide what your LOD is, level of detail for various things. If you look here where the mouse is, see where it says high, there's a little blue bit on the side of that checkbox. Well, that blue bit is the same as Ultra in Firestorm, and as you can see, you can take it way past Ultra. The yellow bars means warning. It could, if your computer can't handle it, it could crash you. But mess with settings, see what your computer can deal with, and then you should be okay. Physics you can turn up. Now all the water malarkey, I normally keep these turned off unless I'm doing a picture with water in, but if you go to the everything on reflection, you get some great water reflections, so that's pretty handy. Rendering options, here's your draw distance, your number of particles. Check anisotropic filtering, that makes everything look smoother. Now here's a great little checkbox, enable full bright. Now according to the Firestorm people, this can't be done, but nearly everything in this room is full bright, so even if I put a nighttime wind light, it would look the same. But you can uncheck it and everything's normal. So if you've got something in a room where you're taking a pic and it's set to full bright and it's ruining your picture, or if somebody in the scene's got day glow hair, then you can just check or uncheck full bright. I hate full bright, so I always keep it turned off. Render unloaded avatars, max avatar visible, that's a setting that's also in Firestorm. Defaults to 16. And you know, when you get jelly dolls, you can also have a checkbox to say always render your friends correctly. Now the avatar complexity slider, this is a bit confusing because first off, Black Dragon works out complexity in a totally different way to Firestorm, and secondly, it's sort of counterintuitive. If you want to set complexity so it shows everything, you actually turn it to 0, which is took me a while to figure that one out. Now you got your wind light options, which I don't mess with really. Deferred rendering gives you all the nice lighting things, render world lights, attach lights. Check as much as you can. Anti-aliasing, if your computer can handle it, do FXAA. That makes everything look less jaggy. Shadows, sometimes there's like 3 or 4 sets of shadows depending on how far away they are, close, far or distant. And it sort of works out how to sort of render the shadows for you. I keep on automatic, but every now and again you'll get a shadow that looks really jaggy when you don't want to. So you can turn off automatic if you want. And then you can soften lights. I'll put that back on automatic while I remember though. These settings here I keep to default. Depth of field, I normally have enabled alphas in depth of field turned on in here, but you can turn them off and on in the sidebar as and when. I'll show you the sidebar in a minute. Motion blur, if you want to do it so as you move it blurs, you can do that here. Probably better if you're for filming videos, I think, than taking pictures. Volumetric lighting, that's what gives you the nice light effect, so if you keep that checked. And then you have lens flare. If you point your camera to the sun, you get those little sort of bokeh balls coming off, you know, that you get with a real camera, which again, it can be nice, but it can also be pain if you don't want them. And then next one down, all the people who you'll want to render properly, you can set names to and people to mute. Sound and media, that's straightforward, same as Firestorm more or less. Same with chat, all your chat options. Now the camera one, this is where you can set your view angles and distances and all that. I keep that as default. Controls, straightforward. Now key bindings, we've done this before, but if you want to modify a key binding, say for turning, click on it to highlight it, modify, press the key you want it to be, then press bind, and it's set then. Privacy and all that is more or less the same. I don't think I've figured out how to turn off look at, you know, where it sends you crosshairs so other people can see your crosshairs. I haven't found a way of turning that off, I don't think. And in the viewer tab, this is where you can clear your cache and all that. And if you want RLV, turn it on there. So now you've got camera controls. Do you know the preset views? There's a lot more of them than what you get in Firestorm. I think Black Dragon defaults to left shoulder view, whereas we're all used to it being a rear view sort of thing. Right then, this box here will open up the side panel. You can press F1 and do it as well. And so if you're taking a pic, you can turn on your shadows, turn them on and off. You can turn your water reflections on and off, your depth of field, as you can see. Now sometimes when you're taking a picture and you've got depth of field turned on, if you've got like something Alfred behind you, sometimes your hair has a halo where you could turn it off and on here and it sort of will blur out that halo. So that's quite a handy little thing. You can also quickly turn off and on your enable full bright here. You can click a box so you use your region wind light rather than one you've selected. You can tweak your shadows here, how soft they are. Where it says resolution, that's how crisp or how sharp or soft they are. I won't change them unless I have to. And down the bottom here you can change your camera view angle for setting up your pictures. It's quite handy having them on this little sidebar. I think that's it really. Right, save camera angle. Yeah, I think you can set it here. No. It may be this recorder thing. But it's not something I've used. Animation controls. Save camera position. So if you go to my useful features on the Dragon menu and come down to shortcuts, save camera position, load camera position, and you can focus your depth of field by your mouse, so wherever your mouse is that'll be in focus. So there you go. So that's the only other info you wanted, I think. So I hope that's useful anyway. Okay, I forgot to show you the snapshot stuff, so here goes. So save to disk, and if I just start an animation a second. So there's me dancing away, and say you want to take a picture of me. Click freeze world. See, that's paused me now, and then you can move your camera how you want into position and take the pic, and then click on new snap and save as normal or save as. Also, I know you like taking pictures at like 6000 resolution, and when you do that, the depth of field blur will show up, but it's but when you actually take the picture, there's hardly any sort of depth of field effect. If you click on auto scale rendering, then it will blur it. It will look better. Now, it doesn't always work. Sometimes it gives you like a blurred halo around you. Depends what's behind you, how much sort of alphas are behind you, or depends if anything you're wearing's got an alpha. So it doesn't always work, but it can be quite useful. And unclick freeze world. So that's the only other stuff I think you wanted to know. Hope it helps. Okay, might as well show you this while we're here, is how to use the posing tools. So if I strike a pose, this for example, yeah, it looks a bit gay, I know. If I then click on this little fella here with his arms open, this window comes up. I click on my name and then click on start posing. So here I am, and say you want to move one of my left elbow, for instance. Click on it. As you can see, you just slide. You just play with the sliders to put it where you want, which is and also you can just move things really slightly as well, which is far better than Animare. You know, so that's really handy. And then once you get yourself into position, say once you got yourself into position that you know you want to save, you can then enter a pose name in here, in this little checkbox here, and then click this little down arrow, and that will save the current pose. Okay, so stop. So now we can stop posing, stop that, and then we can click on this here. Here's this pose we've got saved. Put over to here. Click Rob Renyard. Oh, I forgot to start posing again. Then click on my pose and play, and there we go. As it's saved, you don't have to write down settings or anything like that. It's saved for you. Which is brilliant, and you can do every part of your body. There's 3 different parts, you know, different parts of your spine. You can change your face, but I think that's more for the classic heads rather than mesh heads. But you know, each part of each finger you can change individually. Once you get used to using this, Animare will be a pain, you know. Even the bits on the body we don't use, but furries and that use, like tails and hind limbs and stuff like that. So it's a handy. I'm sure you'll agree it's easy as well.